Hi everyone, I am Dr.P.KAVITHA, Associate Professor, PG and Research Department of Economics, A.D.M. College for Women, Autonomous, Nagapattinam. Today my topic, Concept of Economic Development, Meaning of Economic Growth. The term economic growth and economic development sound similar. The two concepts are different. While the economic growth is quantitative concept, economic development is a qualitative concept. The economic development refers to the process by which the overall health, well-being, and academic level of the general population of a nation improve. It also refers to improved production value due to the advancement of technology. It is the qualitative improvement in the life of the citizens of a country, and and is most appropriately determined by the Human Development Index, that is HDI. The overall development of a country is based on many parameters such as the creation of job opportunities, technological advancement, standard of living conditions, per capita income, quality of life, improvement in self-esteem needs, GDP, that is gross domestic product, industrial and infrastructural development, etc. Now, meaning of economic growth. The economic growth can be referred to as the increase that is witnessed the monetary value of all goods and services produced in the economy during a time period. It is a type of quantitative measures that reflect the potential increase in the number of business transactions taking place in the economy. It can be measured in terms of increase in the aggregate market value of additional goods and services produced by using economic concepts such as GDP and GNP, gross domestic product, and gross national income. Then difference between the economic growth and economic development. Number one, it is the value of final goods and services of an economy over a given period of time. And next one, economic growth is a short-term process, and it is the improvement in the quantitative aspect. Next, it is the narrow in scope as it deals only with the economic growth of a country. The term economic growth is concerned mainly with developed economics. Measurements to deduce economic growth and gross domestic product and gross national product. It reflects the national or per capita growth in income. Next, economic development. It is the development of social economic parameters of the economy which raises the standard of living of the population. Development is the long-term process. It is an improvement in both the quantitative and qualitative aspects. It's much wider in scope as it covers both the economic aspects and the overall quality of life of the population of a country. Measurement to arrive the economic development are green GDP, gender inequality index, gross happiness index, etc. Then economic development is much related to the developing economy. It reflects the positive progress made by a country. Then features of economic development. The features of economic development is the positive change brought about the living standard of the citizens of the economy by development in social indicators like health, education, etc. Economic development leads to the reduction in poverty level and the improvement in the quality of life of the citizens. Economic development is a positive process which results in the structural changes in the economy in terms of infrastructural development, etc. The process of economic development is a never-ending process. Economic development help in rising the per capita income in the country, which would result in a boost of national income. Then importance of economic growth and economic development. The economic growth boosts countries' overall prosperity and standard of living. It creates more job opportunities for people, reducing unemployment rate. The increased economic growth means more revenue for the government, which can be used for public services and infrastructural development. It encourages investment in new technologies and industries, deriving innovations and progress. Economic growth means to contribute to reducing poverty and inequality of income in a nation. Economic development ensures long-term and sustainable growth of the country. It focuses on improving the well-being of the citizens, including better healthcare and education. Developing various sectors of the economy leads to the balanced and diversified growth. The economic development addresses the social issues like poverty, hunger, and gender inequality. They help in a nation's overall progress and stability, creating a better quality of life for its people. Then international organizations report and the commercial institutions the true pictures of the economy by data available through the parameters of economic growth. Then economic and non-economic factors. Number one, economic factors, that is natural resources. The principles of factor affecting the development of an economy is the availability of natural resources. The existence of natural resources is the abundance the essential for development. A country deficient in natural resources may not be in positions to develop rapidly, but a country like Japan lacking natural resources import them and achieve faster rate of economic development with the help of the technology. India with large resources is poor. Second one, capital formation. Capital formation is the main key to economic growth. The capital formation refers to net additions to existing stock of capital goods, which is the either tangible like plants and machinery for intangible like health, education, and research. Capital formation helps to increase the productivity of labor and thereby production and income. It facilitates adoption of advanced techniques of production. It leads to better utilization of natural resources, industrialization, and the expansion of markets, which are essential for economic progress. Third one, size of the market. Large size of the market would stimulate the production, increase employment, and raise the national per capita income. That is why developed countries expanded their market to other countries through the World Trade Organization. Now, structural changes. The structural changes refers to the change in the occupational structure of the economy. Any economy of the country is generally divided into three basic sectors. One is primary sector, agricultural such as agriculture. Second one, animal husbandry, forestry, etc. The secondary sector such as industrial productions, construction, and tertiary sectors such as trade, banking, and commerce. Any economy which is predominantly agricultural tends to remain backward. Fifth one, financial system. The financial system implies the existence of an efficient and organized banking system in the country. There should be an organized money market to facilitate easy availability of capital. Now, marketable surplus. The marketable surplus refers to total amount of farm output cultivated by the farmers over and above their family consumption needs. This is the surplus that can be sold in the market for earning income. It raises the purchasing power, employment, and output, other sectors of the economy. The country as a result will develop because the increase in national income. Now, foreign trade. The country which enjoys favorable balance of trade and terms of trade is always developed. It has huge reserve and stable exchange rate. Then, economic system. The countries which adapt a free market mechanism, that is laissez-faire policy, enjoy better growth rate compared to the controlled economic. It may be true for some countries, but not for every country. Then non-economic factors. Economic development has much to do with the human endowment, social attitude, political condition, and historical accidents. Capital is a necessary but not a sufficient condition for progress. There is Ragnar Nerds. Human resources. Human resources named as human capital because of its power to increase in productivity and thereby national income. There is a circular relationship between the human development and economic growth. The healthy, educated, and skilled labor force is the most important productive asset. Then, human capital formation is the process of increasing knowledge, skill, and the productive capacity of the people. It includes expenditure on health, education, and social services. If labor is efficient and skilled, its capacity to contribute the growth will be high. For example, Japan and China. Then technical know-how. As specific and technological knowledge advances, more and more technique steadily rise the productivity level in all sectors. Political freedom. The process of development is linked with the political freedom. Uh, the classical work, poverty, and British rule in India, that the drain of wealth from India under the British rule was major cause of the increasing in poverty in India. Then social organization. People show interest in the development activity only when they feel that the fruits of development will be fairly distributed. Mass participation in development progress is preconditions for accelerating the development process. Whatever the defective social organizations grow allows some groups of appropriate the benefits of growth. Majority of the poor people do not participate in the process of development. This is called crony capitalism. Corruption and free administrations. Corruption is a negative factor in the economic process unless the countries root out corruptions in their administrative system. The crony capitalists and traders will continue to exploit national resources. The tax evasion tends to the breed corruptions and hamper economic progress. Then, desire for development. The pace of economic growth in any country depends to a great extent on people's desire for development. If in some countries the level of consciousness is low and the general mass of people accepted poverty is fate, then there will be a little scope for development. Then moral, ethical, and social values. These determine the efficiency of the market according to the north. If people are not honest, market cannot function. Then capitalism. If people spend larger proportion of their income and time on entertainment, liquor, and other illegal activities, productive activities may suffer according to Thomas Piketty. Then patrimonial capitalism. If the assets are simply passed on the children from their parents, the children would not work hard because the children do not know the value of asset. Hence, the productivity will be very low. Then obstacles to economic development. Uh, the obstacles to economic development are multi-phase, including factors like high population growth, low productivity, poor infrastructure, and inadequate human capital. The barriers are corruption, political instability, and insufficient access to technology and education. These challenges can hinder a nation's progress towards sustainable and inclusive economic growth. Number one, population growth. High population growth can strain resources, increase consumption, and lower per capita income. It can also lead to unemployment or underemployment, especially if the economy is not creating enough jobs to absorb the growing workforce. Low productivity. Low productivity can be caused by a variety of factors, including outdated technology, lack of skill, and insufficient production process. This can be result in the lower output per worker and the slower economic growth. Then poor infrastructure. Inadequate infrastructure such as poor roads, unreliable electricity, insufficient water supply can significantly hinder economic activity. It can increase the transportation costs and productions, limit access to the market. Inadequate human capital, a lack of skilled and educated workers can limit a country ability to innovate, adapt a new technologies, and compete in the global economy. Inadequate investment in education and training can lead to skill mismatch between the workforce and needs of the economy. Then corruption and poor governance. Corruption can undermine institutions, discourage investment, and distort resource allocations. Weak governance can lead to instability, policy uncertainty, and lack of transparency, all of which can deter economic development. Uh, then political instability. Political instability can create an uncertain environment for business and investors. It can lead to dispersion to economic activity, discourage investment, and hinder long-term planning. Then, international trade barriers. The international trade barriers, such as tariff and quotas, can limit access to international markets and reduce export opportunities. These barriers can also increase the cost of imported goods, making it more difficult for business to compete. The financial barriers, limited access to finance, particularly for small and medium-sized enterprises, that is SME, can constrain economic growth. Lack of access to capital can make it difficult for business to invest in new technologies, expanded operations for or creating jobs. Then social and cultural factors. Social norms and cultural practices can sometimes the economic development, for example, gender inequality, social civilizations, or traditional attitudes towards what can limit participations in the labor force and hinder economic progress. Then environmental degradation. Environmental problems such as deforestation, pollution, climate change can have significant economic consequences. These problems can reduce agricultural productivity, damage the infrastructure, and increasing the cost of health care. These are just some of the major obstacles of economic development. Then characteristics of underdeveloped countries. The characteristics of underdeveloped countries is essential for any one studying economic development. The global advances, many nations struggle with the range of development challenges. This post will explore the key traits and define underdeveloped countries and infrastructural, economic, social. By recognizing these challenges, we can better understand the path towards sustainable development and tailor the strategies required to help these countries move forward. Then, dependence on agriculture. The main features of underdeveloped countries is their heavy reliance on agriculture. In many of these nations, agriculture is the backbone of the economy, providing employment to significant portion of the population. The agriculture sector is often underdeveloped with outdated farming methods, limited access to the modern technology, and low productivity. This is not only hinder economic growth but also keep these countries trapped in a cycle of poverty as the agricultural output struggle to keep up the population growth and market demand. Then impact of agricultural dependence. Low income and poverty. Agriculture often employing unskilled labor because it does not generate enough income to lift a large portion of the population out of the poverty. Then limited diversification. The agricultural often leads to lack of economic diversifications, meaning there are fewer opportunities for people to access other types of job and industries. Then vulnerability of external shocks. Natural disaster or global market shift can significantly impact agricultural production, affecting the entire economy. Low capital formation. Capital formation refers to the process of accumulating and investing resources in physical assets like factories, machineries, infrastructure, and even human capital, education, and skills. In underdeveloped countries, there is typically very low capital formation. This means that these nations struggle to accumulate saving, and as a result, the lack of necessary fund for investment is essential sectors such as manufacturing, infrastructure, and education. Then consequences of low capital formation, slow growth rate, slow economic growth. Without sufficient capital, industries cannot expand and job creations remain stagnant. Inadequate infrastructure. The lack of capital also means limited investment in road, electricity, water supply, and communication system. Increased reliance on foreign aid. Low capital formation often leads to a reliance on international loans and aid, which can create long-term debt problems. Then high poverty and malnutrition rates. Poverty and malnutrition are presumed in underdeveloped countries. With limited economic opportunities and low income level, a large proportion of the population lies below the poverty line. This means that basic needs such as food, clean water, health care, education are often inaccessible to the majority. As a result, high rate of malnutrition and other health related to issues are common in these nations. Malnutrition in particular can have long-lasting effects of both individuals and the entire community. For children, poor nutrition can result in the stunted growth, cognitive impairments, and a weakened immune system, which hinder their development and potential. The cycle of poverty and malnutrition is difficult to break because of the lack of resources, which is termed economic growth. The malnutritionized workforce is less productive, making it even harder for nations to climb out of poverty. Then challenges. Health issues. High poverty rates are often linked to a lack of access to proper health care, which leads to a higher prevalence of diseases and shorter life expectations. Education barriers. Children who suffer from malnutrition are less likely to succeed in school, the cycle of poverty. Then low productivity. A malnutritionized workforce is less efficient, which affect the overall economic performance of the country. Then effect. Slow economic progress. Without modern tools and techniques, industries cannot increase production of or efficiency. Health risk. The medical technology and poor healthcare infrastructure result in higher mortality rate. Then educational gap. Lack of technology in school limits access to the information in skill development for students. Then conclusion. Economic development is a broader term that economic growth in the itself. A true picture of the economy can be seen with the help of both economic growth and economic development. The development of an economy is only possible with the growth of an economy. However, growth only cannot lead to development of an economy. Thank you.